So this was bound to happen. Child traumatized as her game character is gang in metaverse in first investigated virtual sexual offence. Now, how does the police even investigate this? How do you track them down? Listen, you would have got your kids a VR set, an Oculus. I got my kid one. I love it. I like playing it. I actually want to get a second one just for myself so me and him can play. The games are very open. I've noticed that when it comes to the Oculus, there's a lot of there's a layer of security, when it comes to verification. But like anything, kids today can manipulate that. Men, speedos, grapists, perverted people will manipulate that system, break that system, hack that system, and this is the result of it. So yeah, let's get into this article now, and then I'll give you my opinion further on the whole matter. A criminal investigation has been launched after a girl aged under 16 was attacked online in a virtual sexual offence. Police in the UK are set to launch an investigation after a teenage girl was attacked virtually, which saw her avatar character being gang on a child's video game in the metaverse, the virtual reality world launched by Facebook boss Mark Zuckerberg. And for the people that don't know, that maybe would have went out and got their kid like an Oculus, that is the metaverse. There was the Oculus 1, the Oculus 2, and then there's the Oculus 3. I got my son the Oculus 2. I'm going to go out and buy the Oculus 3, give him that one, and then I'm going to take the Oculus. I'm going to give him the Oculus 3, and I'm going to take the Oculus 2. So for the parents that don't realize, it's Facebook, it's the metaverse. This is what Mark Zuckerberg has created. Now I really have to say this. I'm not the biggest fan of Mark Zuckerberg, but there's a lot of things that you need to go through to download these games. Protection wise, there's a lot of security, and you get banned instantly in these games if you say anything out of the ordinary. Although the player, a girl under 16 years of age, received no physical injuries, she has been left with lasting psychological effects after a virtual attack and is currently suffering from severe emotional trauma, the Daily Mail reports. And rightly so. There's a lot of people here that might be desensitized to stuff. Like I was on I think it was called Gorilla Game my son plays, or Gorilla Tag, and the language in it was atrocious. And I said to my son, listen, like they were all kids, there was no adults. I'm constantly listening. You can actually watch on your device to see who's interacting with them, and I would be doing that. But the language was atrocious. I mean, it was really, really bad, to the point where I was going to take him off it. But then all those kids got banned, and my son got banned along with these kids, even though he didn't really say anything. I think he told somebody to shut up, but he got banned anyway. But the language was atrocious. This is next level, though. This is the future of craziness, guys. This is virtual grape. I mean, what? The victim was in an online room with many other players as the online grape took place, and the game is played with a virtual reality headset to make players as immersive as possible, which would have made the attack feel lurid to the victim while wearing it. Now, if you ever wear one of these things, these are like, you put the headset on, you are in a different dimension and you're there. It is so freaky. You are right there. So for something like this to take place, it would have felt like it's happening to you. Now, the questions I have here: parents can look in with their phone to see what their kid's watching, and if this was happening and this person was under 16, what does that mean? Was she 15 and so many days? Was she near 16? Because you would have had the ability to take the headset off, run to your mum or dad or parent or guardian or whoever and say, look, this is happening in this place. Can you do something? Maybe that's what happened. But as it stands, this young person witnessed a lot of this going on. So crazy stuff, So where were the parents in the scenario? If she was that horrified by the act, where were the parents to witness her horror? The screaming, oh my God, what's happening? As I say, I can see what my son's doing on the app. I can watch what he does. I'm constantly, like, saying that there, he is only 9. So, if he's maybe 15 or 16, I'm probably not going to be, or even 14, I'm probably not going to be looking in as much, but I'm still going to be looking in, and I would still know if something like that happened. Details about the case are reportedly being kept under wraps to protect the child amid concerns prosecution for the online assault is not viable. A senior officer familiar with the case said to the Daily Mail, the child experienced psychological trauma similar to that of someone who has been physically raped. So the psychological trauma is the same, but obviously the physical trauma is not the same. Question again: why was the parents not looking in? If the horror, obviously it was a horrible thing to happen, but if the trauma was that bad, then why wasn't there somebody there to acknowledge that the young girl is going through that trauma and to stop it immediately? It's sounding like that she went through this with the headset on, didn't take the headset off, and just stayed in that moment as the act is happening in the metaverse. You know, there's so many protection tools on these apps that it's not impossible to look by something like this, but you can, if my son's going through something, I'm knowing that that's happening. There is an emotional and psychological impact on the victim that is longer term than any physical injuries. It poses a number of challenges for law enforcement given current legislation is not set up for this. Unfortunately, this isn't the first time an attack has taken place on an online game, as multiple Horizon World players have also filed reports of being sexually attacked by other players of the game, which is also ran by Meta. Right, guys, I'm not going to really read any more of that there. For me, it's all bollocks. The police going into this saying, they're going to talk about this, and Meta replying. And look, whatever can be manipulated will be manipulated. This is a horrific story, a terrible, horrific story, and it should not be. It should not happen. But unfortunately, these things will happen. If anything can be corrupted or manipulated or destroyed or used for evil, it will. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. Look, phones, anything will be used for evil. So, what I'm trying to say is, in this case, this is a telltale sign that if your kid has an Oculus, a virtual reality, you as the parent need to be watching out. There is no excuse. It asks for verification. You can catch perpetrators really fast because there's the IP addresses which the game companies, the metaverse itself will be able to track if you file a report. So what I'm trying to say is, if you have a kid that has an Oculus and this kid is under 16 years of age, even if your kids, they don't even have to be 16, right? If you're worried about your kid on this game, on this VR set, the metaverse, you can download an app. You can see what games are being downloaded. You can download games yourself for it, and you can also watch the games that they're playing, and you can hear what is going on. We do it all the time with our son. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be 100% safe, but that's an extra layer of protection. This should not have happened. This young girl has been traumatized, and I've got a couple of questions. If something is that traumatic, as maybe people can answer this question for me. If something is that traumatic, is it that traumatic that you freeze as it's happening, even though it's not physically happening to you? It's like you're in the virtual world, or would you just freeze? Because as a bloke, maybe I don't understand what it's like to be a woman, a lady, a girl, because I'm a man. But if I don't like something, I walk away from it, especially if it's in not a real world. Does that make sense? Like, I would take the headset off and then I would go to somebody and say, look, this is what's happening. What's your opinions in that? The parents should have been there more. It would have been horrific. Maybe the young girl was just in total shock. And the metaverse needs to do something about this. Mark Zuckerberg needs to do something about this. But what can he do? What can go wrong will go wrong. Right, guys, make sure you head over to my YouTube channel at Holden Official 1. That is my main YouTube channel. And subscribe and hit that notification bell. I post a lot of different content on there. I've been shadow banned. I've been demonetized. I've been took out of recommendations. So if you want to do me a massive favor and head over there now and subscribe and hit that notification bell, you'll be doing me a massive favor. So make sure you do that. Thank you.